and gets suspended.
Unfortunate. It's unfortunate, but we have to continue. The show must go on as we're heading into the draft for our first match in this our first map in this best of 2 series. This is our second series of the day. Battlefield of Eternity is the map, and KT banned Maiev.
They banned the Maiev. I can totally understand that. You know, a Battlefield of Eternity is a rather small battleground with a lot of hidden angles where Maiev could leap from and then catch them all in a prison. And if you remember what happened to KT yesterday, the Maiev was their downfall and ruin against SPT in what would probably was the most lethal engage I've ever seen in HGC China, with that Earthquake, Bloodlust, Wombo Schmombo, like five seconds max and the teamfight was over.
That's true, which was very entertaining. I will absolutely say
amazing.
That. But it's the thing of I can't remember where this was from, but a situation of just because you're going faster doesn't mean you're less likely to have an accident. Just because you're spending less time on the road, it's not even what I see. Just like, I mean, people who spend more time on the road are more likely to have an accident. So if I go faster, I spend less time on the road. I really can't remember where that's from. But yeah, crashing.
I just imagine someone saying that to a police officer after they've been stopped with 200 miles per hour on the highway.
Yeah, I didn't want to crash, officer.
See, I was taking care of other people.
Yeah, I'm trying to protect the other road users.
I'm a crazy driver, so I try to spend as least time as possible on the road.
Look, I know I'm a bad driver, so I'm trying to get off the road ASAP.
Oh, right.
Dear.
Earthquake is here. Hanzo has been deployed as well. That's strong immortal racing potential already for KT. Now, the A-team, on the other hand, they themselves haven't picked a single assassin yet, so they still have a little bit of time to maybe go for that Li Ming. It's a really strong pick on BOE in general. We have yet to see a single Lunara, guys. We know Lunara is pretty good here with a PvE damage from Nature's Culling. But China just ignores the deer up to this point.
Indeed. I mean, most regions are, to be fair. Lunara is still a little bit rarer to see come out. Sometimes she does. So we will see. But for now, we wait to see what else they'll pick. With Lunara kind of off the table just due to expectations, I think, at this point.
Yeah.
We need other races. So we're looking at Li Mings, we're looking at Grey Mains, we're looking along those lines.
Yeah, you either go for counter racing, which is something the A-team could do, which is already going to be hard to do, though, against Hanzo, who is just so far superior to all the other PvE heroes in terms of damage. Or, if you're not confident in your racing potentials, you go for strong teamfight control, right? You go for a lot of CC to maybe defend at your immortal and then retaliate. Alarak comes to mind. Could be a really strong hero there with all his CC and combat control. Diablo there helping out in that regard as well.
So, I would quite like to see Li Ming for the A-team. You already mentioned Diablo. Yep. He helped out in a lot of things. Setting up for burst is one of them that he excels at. So seeing that in, with Phoenix already removed as well, you can't really go for the Lightning Breath Salvo build. And the only other person who does benefit from slows is, well, people with Executioner, like the Greymane, and Lunara again. But Lunara is still ignored. So instead, we do see Greymane and the Jaina.
Jaina coming in here. Of course, the persisting slows, the continuous slowing that Jaina provides is also ideal for a hero like Greymane when it comes to chasing people down more efficiently, when it comes to stacking up the Wizened Duelist stacks if they so want to go this route. And against the Jaina, they could now go for a little bit of engage themselves, KT that is. So they could play defensively by picking a Johanna, for example, or maybe a Garrosh. But if they want to turn on the heat a little bit onto their opponents, they could go for the Muradin. Muradin, always a nice option in particular on BOE, in my opinion, because he doesn't even need to go back all the time when he takes a little bit of damage from enemy poke. He can just wait until his trade second wind kicks in, and he's going to be back in combat in no time.
Final picks for KT. What are we going to see? They already have solo, they already have range. They got some more range. That stuff there.
That is a strong team Tetra by KT on all fronts.
Certainly is. But it does, however, squash my small hopes and dreams that we might have seen the Crash Lightning build. Unless he is just going to go Crash Lightning in the solo lane and just hope to stack up only during the objective phase.
To be fair, that has happened in the past because the solo laning phase on BOE is much shorter than on other maps, let's say like Praxis Holdout or Tomb of the Spider Queen, because the objective sooner or later will force you to leave that lane anyways, unless you want to cripple your own team's efforts by a large landslide. So yeah, I mean, it's probably still going to be Echo of the Elements, but it could be an option, the Crash Lightning, that is, depending on how much they're willing to bank on those late game stacks. So what is it that A team still needs? They could, in theory, send the Greymane solo. It's not the worst hero to face a Thrall. And then they would have enough room for exactly something like that, okay? So, not the Greymane in the solo lane, but the Malthael, but Greymane in the 4-man. That's a lot of damage now as well. And I could really see some sweet synergy between Greymane and Malthael in the way that Malthael goes for the last rites, Greymane goes for the Cursed Bullet, and then boom, Cursed Bullet, you bring him low, and you finish him off immediately with that last rites. And since Malfurion doesn't have any panic buttons to restore huge amounts of HP in a short period of time, that could very well just work just fine.
It could indeed. I mean, I really dig the Malthael. For starters, like you said, it's great immortal damage. The burst against Malfurion could be really solid. Anti-healing against Malfurion is always really solid.
And Muradin too, later on, if he gets the healing static, the stone skin, it's going to be amazing.
I really like the Malthael. I'm on board with you there. Words, please. My confidence is reaffirmed in the A team. Let's do this. Go A team.
Let's see what they can pull off here. They certainly do have so much teamfight damage, and I think that's probably going to be their strategy of choice. They're probably going to try to defend their own Immortal first, and then in a good moment, with that strong engage by Diablo, they're going to try to basically nail someone down, someone like Thrall, Hanzo, or Li Ming, or maybe even the Malfurion indeed, and then try to win those races from there. Because in a straight-up race where both teams are ignoring each other, there's no way they're going to outrace them with Hanzo, Li Ming, and Thrall.
That's true. Hanzo kind of just always turns the races on their head on this map as we are loading into game number 1 of our second series of the day. It's going to be Battlefield of Eternity, and ladies and gentlemen, spawning on the left-hand side, it is going to be Kudos top, with Hope on Li Ming, Timeless on Muradin, TWT on Malfurion, Hikari on the Thrall, and Hape is playing Hanzo.
Facing them is the A team with Jaina on, well, Jaina. Olele is playing the Greymane, Bruiser is playing the Malthael, Stukov on Decker Kane again, and Kaitu, the replacement, the substitute for Uncle G, on the main tank on Diablo. Now let's see what they can do with this new player reinforcing. Well, technically speaking, he's always been a sub, so he's probably not entirely new to the roster of the A team, but is the synergy going to kick in immediately? That is the question.
Bruiser with Turbo Horse, allowing him to rotate a little bit quicker round to his team.
That indeed allows for good rotations, especially in a small map. It really comes into effect quite quickly. So let's see what they can do with that. For now, Kaitu going for a standard build here with the slam against the wall, restoring health. Bruiser's playing this so safely here. He noticed that something was a little fishy, right? He probably got a comms message there. You know what? Muradin is not in the bottom, so careful top, careful top. And staying on the mount there, by the way, is a really cute move that we also recommend to all the players out there if you play Hero League, Team League. If you don't really attack anything in lane and you don't want to leave the lane by the same token, just stay mounted. It's going to give you much more mobility to basically walk around and dodge gangs and stuff like that.
Especially as Malthael, who's even faster. Tank duel in the middle of the map, Timeless looking to assert dominance. As Bruiser, and wow, a lot of people rotated that, but I didn't realize Stukov came up here as well. So able to take care of that. Hikari, by the way, ruining the Crash Lightning Dream, did go for Echo of the Elements, and while that camp was being taken, he did achieve a stack.
That is correct. So both teams, they're basically giving up one side mercenary camp at a time. Bottom pressure in favor of KT, top pressure in terms of in favor of A team. And also, since A team was a little quicker taking that mer camp, they're also going to be able to push against the enemy fortress structures much more quickly. And as a response, you see a 4-man rotation here now for KT. Can they find a target? Can they pick someone off? It's maybe now Kaitu's turn to turn things around.
Hikari pulling back. He's going to survive. Good stun by Timeless onto Olele as well, looking for a potential turnaround. Gets tackled by Kaitu though. And as such, Whole lot of abilities blown, but no kills as of yet in this game. In the meantime, Malthael is attempting to lane against Li Ming.
Yeah, shouldn't really be too big of a deal here for the Malthael. Li Ming is very skill shot dependent. You can dodge those abilities. He's also very mana consuming if you use those abilities too much. Power hungry, by the way. Standard Li Ming build. I don't think we're going to see any magic missile talents, and that is a risky call. Look at the mana bars on the side of the A team on the Greymane. They're quite low. Yeah. Timeless realizes this, drops full man mode onto the platform, but realizes, you know what? Against this blizzard damage, I can't do much. But they stole the mercenary camp, and that's all they wanted to achieve here.
They did lose Thrall just in time for the objective. He's going to be up 6 seconds before the objective spawns, which means he can rotate pretty reasonably. So it's not the worst, but he is going to not be here for his team's attempt to grab this Fallen Shaman camp. So it's very much up to Hanzo, who won't be fully stacked yet, but his race is still pretty insane, so we will be able to take that down. Would have liked to see the A team try to get a head start while Thrall was rotating, but instead they're soaking to level 5.
And a death on Thrall also means, of course, that the Frostwolf pack stacking quest at level 4 is going to be reset. It's a relatively rare talent we see on Thrall these days. So the more Frostwolves you land, Feral Spirits, I should say, you land on the enemy team, the more stacks you get. But if you miss just one, or if you die, you're going to lose all those stacks. But if you complete it, big reward, you're going to have much lower cooldown and mana costs on Feral Spirit.
Yep, turns out Thrall with an even more punishing stacking talent than Nova, the person who's meant to be a sniper. As Kaitu moves forward, going to start the race. Hanzo's done a pretty good job for the race, but this might actually still be the A team. Their damage output with so many people is still good. Are they going to give up the objective just for the kill on Timeless? Turns out they're not, as an orb chunks Stukov. We are going to see the race won by the A team. Turns out, at this stage, until he finishes Simple Geometry, 5 heroes still better than 1.
Absolutely true. If you combine your efforts and you're determined enough to take down the Immortal, and you have good heroes like Malthael or Jaina and the Greymane, most importantly, to tunk it down, then you're going to get it. But as you said, Tetcher, at level 7, maybe if Hanzo gets the cooldown reduction on his scatter shot, it would have been a different story. So he's only going to get more lethal. I'm also pretty sure that Hape hasn't completed Simple Geometry yet, so the lack of additional projectiles is certainly also come into play here.
Timeless getting hit by almost every single form of CC there, except for the Scroll of Sealing, as he was tackled into the boss stun and then flipped by Diablo as well. But with Thrall already stacking, only in 4 and a bit minutes. That's really impressive. Kaitu needs to be careful where he stands though, as he is going to pull back.
Oh, the engage on Olele. Just whiffing here a little bit. I think KT realized, you know what, if we fully commit there, we're probably going to lose the Muradin as well. And now we see Simple Geometry after 5 minutes and 7 seconds completed. This is going to be a big power spike for Hanzo. Also got the level 7 now. This is truly where the PvE build on Hanzo shows its true potential.
Exactly. So with Echo of the Elements and Simple Geometry both stacked pretty quickly, this is a good situation for KT to find themselves in. Their damage output's going to be good. Kaitu, speaking damage outputs, does not have souls, so as such, he's a squishy boy and gets taken out.
That's what happens when you take 2 scatter shots to the face on top of a little bit of Li Ming pokey poke. And if your team is not there in time to back you up, and a decisive move by KT, and that was the end of Diablo. Unfortunately, though, fortunately for him, though, he wasn't on full stacks, so he's still okay in terms of tankiness. He's not Baby Dibbles. Not going to have to spend some time getting those souls back.
Yeah, he does, however, still need to spend some time getting souls.
Yeah, he needs to max out in first place.
One. Yeah, you need to have souls to lose them.
He's teeny Dibbles right now.
Just that thinking meme. Diablo's on the way. He's actually hiding in the middle of the map, looking to maybe shut down some rotations from Hope when he leaves, or from anyone who's coming down to him. It actually seems Muradin going past, I'm pretty sure.
Oh.
He is rumbled by Thrall, as Muradin is able to drop some good damage onto Jaina with the help of Hope.
Here comes Kaitu with a flank here. Muradin's dropping dangerously low. They don't even need the Diablo charge here, the Shadow charge. The roots were enough to take him out, and Hikari now is in a dangerous spot. He completed the quest, though. Time to feed. Well played, Hikari. The Frostwolf pack was just completed in time, but still, of course, the fact that he died in the first place next to Muradin is terrible news for KT. Now so much momentum for the A team. They're already sieging up, they're barraging up, and they're trying to take down the Blue Mortal to the 50% mark.
Yeah, he got volley-blocked, he got anti-healed, he got pretty much shut down for all there, so nice quick pickup here by the A team as they get to the halfway point. The Immortal heads down low. Malthael's pretty far away inconveniently as Hanzo makes his way up to begin his race.
And I like how patiently the A team is playing this. They could, in theory, defend their own Immortal and wait for level 10, right? It's just around the corner, but you know what? They're like, okay, let's fully commit to this. We're still going to have more damage, and we're just going to burn it down. Or are they? Oh, closer than I thought it would be.
That was close. The rest of KT were a little bit slow on the rotation. They actually would have won if they'd all gone straight away to the enemy Immortal.
Yeah. All right,
However,
so they still get it.
Available.
Level 10 is here. We see the last rights indeed. Greymane didn't go for the Cursed Bullet as I thought he might be going for. He went for the throat, which is also pretty good. You know, it makes a lot of sense against targets like Hanzo, Li Ming, Thrall to a certain extent, and Malfurion, of course, as well. So a lot of burst damage, especially in combination with that Jaina. So if Jaina drops a good combo, slows them down, they bring him down to 40, 30%, and Greymane's then going to take a very generous bite off his opponents.
Still seeing the Lightning Breath, no sneaky ABOC, although he did hesitate when he did pick his Heroic, so I'm going to keep an eye on him in future games to see if he maybe brings out the APOC from time to time. As the counter heroics are picked up as well, Wave of Force, we see the Tranquility, no Twilight Dreams to maybe deal with Malthael or anything like that.
Alright, so this is where the real show, the real game is about to start, right? Both teams on those level 10s. How aggressively is A team willing to play this? Well, looks like very aggressive.
Not aggressively. We do see Malthael get taken out in exchange, though, Lightning Breath. They're aiming for Timeless. Dragon Arrow only really landed onto Kaito here. And it looks like they have bitten off more than they can chew, but here's Jada. This is a great position for Jada. Such a big choke point for the Blizzard. Great damage onto Timeless. Hope is in trouble as well. They kill him with fire. And they're able to retreat. 2 for 1. And Leslie Ming picks up a kill here, but even her damage at this point cannot kill Diablo.
Ladies and gentlemen, that is the beauty of having a Diablo in a tight corridor in a choke point, where it's so easy. It's almost impossible for Kaito to not slam anyone into the wall and get the value from his level 1 talent. And then, of course, the flames as well, and those choke points. It's so much harder for the enemy team to actually dodge these flames. He's going to get so much self-sustained value on top of those potions, of course. That was just a beautiful location for A team to look for a fight in the first place. But the fact that they were actually brave enough to dive past that fort and get away with it is just amazing.
So, in the top lane has once again turned into just a standard 1v1. We're going to see that again. Actually, Hikari just gets absolutely dominated, but the counter damage was just too much for Malthael to deal with. But then they pull into this beautiful choke point. This is, 1, the best, most efficient escape route, and 2, the best fight scenario. Look at that. Blizzard right on time. Let's just get completely body blocked. The sleep even hits Hope a little bit to deny a little bit of damage. By that point, Kaito is just absolutely bodying Hanzo, so really nicely done.
Yeah, Kaito, of course, by now at the very latest, sitting at full stacks on his Soul Stone, so he's going to be very much indomitable and hard to kill for the enemy team. Blocking all those Li Ming shots there as well with his massive demon body. Now, it looks like they're fully committed to this defense up to this point. 4 people, excuse me, defending, with Malthael still cleaning house in the bottom lane. And look at the mercenary camp in favor of the A team, the red mercenary camp, the red fallen shamans in the top lane. They're gonna hit the wall soon, and the moment they see Thrall appear, this is where they chose their aggression. Now, they've got a lot of catching up to do in Immortal Health. Can they do it?
They very nearly put himself in danger a couple seconds ago. He went for the engage, went for the Dark Flight into Timeless. Right as Timeless Dwarf tossed. If that had been a second, like half second later, he would have followed Timeless over the wall and would have died. Timeless gets hit by the last rights, but survives as Hikari does not imitate his opponent there by surviving. He goes down as Hape is able to escape the follow-up engage by Olele.
Tetcher, KT was so split in that fight. I'm not sure if you saw it as well. I mean, Muradin was basically getting pummeled in the middle by Diablo, by Kaito, who's playing an amazing game up to this point already. Then came Thrall with a flank. It just went south because by the time he had engaged on the enemy team, his remaining teammates were already forced back, so his Earthquake flank didn't do anything. And during all of this, they also weren't able to fully commit to dealing with the mercenary camp. So it wouldn't actually surprise me if the top lane had taken some serious tower and gate damage. So this is probably the worst case outcome for KT. Not only did they lose team members, not only did they take some crippling damage top, but also are they going to have to face a pretty healthy Immortal.
Here comes Diablo with the tackle onto Hope, but not enough yet. He's fully stacked on souls, so Diablo would very much like to avoid dying to keep his tankiness at optimum efficiency. They push in with this Immortal, low shield, so there's a chance it will take keep as we're approaching like the mid stages of the game, but there's also a chance that it could be defended. The poke output from Hope might be enough here.
Look at the map awareness by Bruiser, by the way, in that Malthael. He was completely shutting down Timeless. What do Muradins like best? Well, they like to flank people with a feisty dwarf toss and then initiate a play here. But he actually overdid it. He got a little too deep there, Bruiser on the Malthael. And now it looks like they might get kill number 2. Resets for Li Ming. They get the second blow up against Decker Kane. Can they get the dibbles? Yes, they can. Resets are now live. The dismounts onto Jaina is real as well, but they lost the keep, Tetcher. They did lose the keep. They traded permanent damage for temporary damage. That Immortal is now pounding on the core.
And Immortal's going to do some great value, but yeah, Malthael trying to zone, trying to do what Muradins do, and instead, well, he does what Muradins don't, and that is die, as he gets taken out, and Diablo. The Lightning Breath is really an escape tool so that Jaina can escape, which is very sensible. But he's now out of souls. That was the majority of their lead thrown away, but they did get a keep.
What happened there as well is, of course, with Malthael being so far exposed to the enemy team, Decker Kane actually tried to run after him to drop a couple of potions onto him. The problem was, Malthael died so fast, Voltad thought there's another team fight going down. The last rites is executing Muradin. It is a 1-for-1 trade with Greymane also biting the dust here, but KT's on the run. They're not 16. They don't have all the combat tools available that A-Team has. But on the flip side, Kaito, he just respawned after losing all of his stacks. He is not nearly as tanky as he wanted to be. But yeah, quickly back to that last team fight. Decker Kane tried to run after the Malthael to heal him up. He died so quickly, then he was exposed. He was actually standing in front of Diablo and got taken out immediately.
That he was, as we do see with Diablo looking for more kills at least, preferably not more on his own team by not being in the front line. We do see them just taking out this Fallen Shaman camp. They're going to try and get some pressure. This is a lane without... Thanks, Brain. I could have left at least a smaller gap there. This is in fact a lane, but this is also a lane with no structures in it other than the keep, so the Fallen Shamans, they're not very good at pushing into cores. They don't outrange the core, so as such, yeah, pretty useless in general. So having the ability to push into a keep is much more efficient. Okay, they set up for catapults is what, but they have a use. But they're much better in terms of pushing keeps and stuff because of that constantly spawning doggos.
Absolutely true. So, once again, this KT here trying to posture up the defense. They are level 16 now, which could mean stone skin, excuse me, for Muradin to basically keep himself alive a little bit more, but keeping people alive. Speaking of which, Malfurion is immediately taken down. No more healing, no more sustain for KT, but they're furious. They're trying to go on the Jaina, and they get a kill. A 1-1 retaliation blow. That is definitely an acceptable outcome. And keep in mind that with Hanzo, they still have amazing racing capabilities. The Li Ming poke as well coming in from the bottom. The healing fountain being used. Timeless almost back in good shape. Malthael, look at Bruiser. He's hiding in the bush. He's trying to go for that engage. But Diablo, it says goodbye in a couple of seconds
there. Nicely done. I was about to say, that was super weird, them moving in there. Rolling cocktail? Rolling cocktail? Ah, no. Rolls away. But yeah, I was super confused why Bruiser went in there. I was like, okay, Diablo's dead. It's fine. We can work around this. All you have to do is just not get hit. All you have to do is just not die. Malthael went in. It was super dangerous, but it was all the bait. Olene stays away from the one person who thinks can kill her with the last rites, and turns out, nope, surprise Greymane.
All right, so you can still see the value of Hanzo. The KT Immortal is definitely in a better shape, and they're probably going to try to race it down as quickly as they can, but by the same token, look at that. Hikari on the thrall. He needs to get rid of those catapults. We're putting on a dangerous amount of damage onto the enemy team's core. Bruiser, though, look how aggressive he plays it. Greymane following immediately up on the Muradin. Timeless, he is definitely not used to being so squishy and exposed on that Muradin, but all they need to do is keep Hape alive on that Hanzo. That is the one team member that matters. Li Ming also over the wall from a hidden angle, dropping all that poke.
Timeless with the huge amount of CC. Bruiser dropping low. That Earthquake is a huge pain here as Muradin just chunks through Diablo, but Jada has already killed off Li Ming in the backline and has escaped. But Decade Stukov, he's trying to hydrate, but it's not enough. He goes down as well. Olele, a little bit low. Bruiser low on mana. Jaina looked very low on health. This was a one fight by KT.
Yeah, and that's exactly what they need, KT. In order to come back into this game, they needed to win this Immortal, and that was so well played by them. The combo, the focus was real on the right targets there. Diablo overextending yet again. Kaito needs to know his limits a little more. He is the tanky Lord of Terror, but even he cannot withstand all that pressure. I really like the adaptation coming in from Thrall as well. He's now a true tank shredder with the Ancestral Wrath at level 7 and the Alpha Wolf at level 16. Now there's a lot of percentage damage available if Diablo gets hit by that Feral Spirit.
But now though, Jaina and Olele cleaning up. It's Malthael actually sitting in the middle of the map. He was trying to see if he could do anything to Thrall. It dropped a little bit of health damage onto him, but nothing too serious. Might even
no.
goes down. Timeless the engaged, nicely done. Kaito having to pull back here as this is now a dangerous decision to defend. Dragon Arrow lands on Stukov here as Timeless looking for another kill. Stukov will survive this time though. Bruiser with the distraction.
Yeah, it almost worked out. I think if Hope on the Li Ming had been a little bit faster to get that combo in, they would have gotten another kill, and that could have then maybe been the end of this game without the support to keep the enemy team at bay. Now Hate, excuse me, on that Hanzo needs to be a little careful here. He took a lot of damage. Hikari dropping low as well. Greyman just likewise. It is now a pretty clutch game. The next step on either side could really decide the outcome of this fight. Diablo, that is really bad.
No souls, but the Immortal is down. If Olele dies, though, it could be it. There's the sleep. This will buy Stukov some time so that he can move back. The Keep actually still taking some shots there. Hits the Treants. But now it's a 3 versus 5 defense on the core. Can they do it? Here's Jada. That's probably going to be enough on its own. Assuming Jada doesn't die. Ice block, but here's the second one using the level 20 rewind that was just achieved by Timeless. Bruiser with the nice damage, Scroll of Sealing by Stukov preventing the follow-up as Jada begins to drop the damage. It's an Avatar, it's an Archon pure power from Hope right now, committed to the core, trying to finish the game here, as they do finish off Malthael. It's just Stukov remaining, and that is how you end the game. Archon pure power, laser beams down the core, and game number 1 goes to KT.
I'm not sure if you actually saw it there.